Sometimes it can feel like we are speaking a different language from our wives. They ask us a simple question, we give them a simple answer, and bang, argument pursues, or a cold shoulder happens. What the heck went wrong? Hello, my friend. My name's Zach. I've been married for 20 years, and I feel like I'm learning more and more about who my wife is, what her personality is, and how she works, just her quirks and all. This can be tricky, and over the years, I've learned a few questions and statements and what they actually mean. Let's go through those real quick. First, does this make me look fat? Your wife is probably looking for affirmation on her beauty and how she looks. Do what you want. Please do not do what you want. I have a headache. Stay away from me. Or I'm tired. Not today. Another stay away from me. How do I look? Could be wanting affirmation in that moment, or trying out a new outfit and she's unsure and really wants to know what you think. I feel like, okay, this is where I've learned I'm about to get a verbal spanking. Or we are going to do X. We are going to unload the car. We are going to mow the lawn. It's code for she would like me to do that. These are just a few of what my wife says and what she means. And though I'm poking fun, both male and female, we can speak directly. But a lot of times I've noticed we speak very indirectly and expect the other person to pick up on our clues. And today we're going to talk about how you can pick up on different clues. Your wife might have the same statements that my wife has, and the meaning might be the same, but they might be different. And so let's give you a guidebook on how to figure it out. First, it's good to talk about communication just in general. As people, we communicate and we can think words have so much meaning, which they do. That old statement of sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me. I mean, that is ridiculously false. Words matter. But when we're communicating, words is only 7%. 7% of total communication. That means that words matter, but there's more than just the words that matter, right? That's why someone can say one thing and mean something totally different. In fact, if I scowled at you and was like, I love you, would you feel the love? I hope not. In that moment. I hope your answer is no, and that's because 7% matters. Words matter. We need to tell our spouse that we love them, but there's more than just the words. It's also the tone of voice. Can you tell the different tones of voice of your spouse? Do you know what those tones are? I know the exact tone of Zach's in trouble. I know exactly what it is. I don't care what words are coming out. I know what anger tone is. My anger tone is very different, but it's different than my wife's. So do you know what 45%, that 45% of communication, that tone of voice? And then 48% is body language. So I would imagine if you've got the I have a headache, a back is turned to you, and there's no movement. Right? That is clear body language. That's a 48% body language communicating, not today, son. And so know that when someone's communicating, it's 7% words, 45% tone of voice, and 48% body language. You have to interpret all of that. And I know what you're probably thinking. Well, I just wish she would just tell me exactly what she's thinking. Do you really wish that? Because if I'm honest, I don't appreciate it sometimes. And so I'm sure you don't either. And I'm sure that you don't tell it like it is all the time. In fact, sometimes when we say, if someone ever says to me, I just tell it like it is, I got to say, if that's you, I apologize for what I'm about to say, but that is a clear sign someone's a jerk, right? Someone that just tells it like it is. No, they tell it like they see it. And relationship is a dance. And we're not going to always tell it like it is. Maybe she's concerned about your feelings. Maybe she's concerned about your heart. Maybe when she's communicated in the past, you weren't really receptive. And all of these maybes aren't maybes. They're truth of why people don't communicate with us. So how can we dig in even further to know exactly what our wives mean? It's a very important thing that is hard to do, and that is to be present with them, to be here. And that is a skill in and of itself. Like, when I'm at home, I think of work. When I'm at work, I think of home. When I'm at either places and I have a vacation coming up, all I think about is the vacation, right? Right now, as I record this, there are 15 school days left in the school year. We may or may not be counting that down because my wife's a teacher and my kids are at school and we're ready for summer, right? Being present in today is difficult. And when you are present with your spouse, you'll be able to be better at seeing that 7:45-48, that communication that's communicating to you, and you'll be ready for that next step, which is listening to understand. You know, when they communicate something to you and you don't know quite what it means, ask. I know that's a novel concept. Like, if someone is slamming the cupboard drawers in your kitchen, right? It's a surefire sign someone is upset. And sometimes we have the reaction of, I'm just going to ignore and maybe it'll go away. But in that moment, what if we were present? What if we asked what was going on? Hey, are you doing okay? Are you having a hard day? Did I do something to upset you? And then you stopped and you listened to understand. You just listened to whatever was about to come out. Whether it is about you, about their day, or something else, that you just stopped and you listened. And this is a skill that takes time, but it's super important. And you're going to fail at it. I know, encouraging. That's okay. Try again and again. But here, those two things do not matter unless you do this next thing correctly. Are you safe? Are you a safe person for them to tell you what's going on? You know, in some ways, you're not. Just got to be honest. Because you're human. I'm safe with my wife to a point. And there's some things that I've proven myself to not be safe. And here's some quick ways in which we are not a safe place for them to communicate their hearts. We might get reactive, right? We might get defensive. I know, not you. You never. I never get defensive either. You might detach. In fact, detaching is when you separate from, like, have you ever went silent? Common for guys. You don't know what to say, so you say nothing. That's that detaching. But here's one that's a little more even unconscious. Maybe you're not conscious of your 7:45-48. What is your body language communicating? Is it communicating safety? If she's correcting something you're doing, is it communicating that you're just taking it? Because here's how our body language can get misaligned with that listening, is our posture is not one of listening. We're doing something else. I'm listening, and we repeat it back, but we're not really fully listening. We're not looking at them. Or maybe something hurtful is being said. And so your posture is to get bigger. That's one of mine. When I get anxious, when I get nervous, sometimes I can get bigger, right? I don't even realize I'm doing it. You're posturing in almost a menacing, bullying way, not intentional, but it can happen. Or maybe you're the opposite of that. You get smaller. She's correcting you and you're feeling defeated, and so you hunch over and look sad. Those are not ways to provide safety for your wife to communicate what's actually going on with her. In all of those things, like I said, there's a measure of them we're better at than others. And so for you, what area do you need to work on to be a safe space so that you don't need a translator as much? So that they feel comfortable to say, hey, I don't hear from you enough that you find me attractive. And I need you to say that to me. That's something I need from you. Or I'm not interested in that tonight, and you not getting defensive about it. Or I need you to mow the lawn and you being okay with that. Instead, she's finding a way to soften it. These are all ways in which I've gotten reactive. I've not watched my posture and my tone. And I wager some of them, maybe you too. It's all right. We are humans on a journey. In fact, shame has no place in this dialogue here, even though you and I tend to go to shame. Instead, you're just a human learning, just like me and just like your wife. So those are all things to do in the moment. But if you really want to supercharge this, I got a last tip for you. And that's later on, after time has passed. Let's just say you tried to ask questions and it went sideways, or you got reactive, or you said the wrong thing. Which, man, because we're two humans, that happens a lot. Right? You think you're responding in the way they're wanting, and then it still circles up in an argument. It's okay. Later, ask. Once emotions subsided, even 24 hours later, like even this morning, I asked my wife, hey, you said this last night to me. You asked me this question. What was rising up in you? What was going on in your heart? And she proceeded to tell me. And then I was able to affirm our relationship. And now I have a clue for my wife in the future. In fact, one of the beauties of marriage, the beauty, is that you're never going to fully figure each other out. And you're always this little mystery where if you're loving your wife well, you're always trying to figure it out, to serve her as her husband to the best of your ability. And by the way, all of these points help in all of our relationship. It's not just in the spousal relationship. If you want deeper friendships, try these out. I know they'll really help you. Hey, I have mentioned listening and the key to that and how crucial it is to this process. My friend, it is a skill. And if you want to get better at it, and I hope you do, because it'll help you be the best wife translator you can be, watch this video right here. It'll really help you. Have a great day, and God bless you in your journey.